In this video, I will be talking about the winter storm that hit Texas this week. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tested like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. This was a horrible, terrific, terrifying, whatever adjective that I could use to describe this week in Houston, Texas. It was it. I know they were predicting that we were going to get some cold weather or something like that over the weekend, over the past weekend. And so we were ready for that because the last time they said it was supposed to be a winter storm, it got cold for 1 or 2 days and then we heated back up in Texas. So I was kind of expecting the same thing, not for no full week and not us going through the stuff that we went through all this week. On Monday, when my husband looked out the window and he went down the stairs, he saw there was so much ice on the stairs and stuff like that in the roadways, and we got to looking at the news. And so when I did wake up, I normally don't get up at 6 or 7 o'clock anymore. I normally get up like 8 or 9. And so when I got up, I seen where I had a bunch of text messages from my sister, and she had called and told me she had texted me a couple of messages, and then I got back to her and she asked me, was my lights out? And I told her, no, my lights were not out. She asked me about my water. I told her my water was running, but it was only cold water. And so she said that her lights got cut off at 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. So which was really Sunday night, going into Monday. And so she woke up with her lights and water not on. She also told me a family friend didn't have any water, or lights on their house either. And so she was saying, they live in a big house in an all black subdivision, so the whole thing was out. And so I told them that they could come over here and warm up and for a few hours and stuff like that. So they did. And so, well, right in the midst of them coming over here, my sister from California called, and I told her that we were in a dire situation and we was in an emergency, and I didn't have time to talk to her and stuff like that. She said, "Well, okay." I said, "I got to get off the phone." I said, "Because everything is going on and we're in a major emergency." I told her I'd call her back later. And so after that, my older sister, she came over here with my niece with my niece and and with my niece and her nephew. And so they came and they stayed for a couple of hours. And my other nephew, he had went, to check on the lights, and we were all looking at the news, and they were saying that the lights were going to come back on in 24 to 48 hours. And so what they did, they went back to their house, and they kind of went back to their house in that cold house and stuff. And so they said that they got warmed up through the truck. And so when Tuesday came, I called and asked them. They told me that their lights were still off, and I said, "Oh, your lights are still off." I said, well, "We still got lights on." I said, "Would y'all like to come over here, another day, just to say?" I said, "Because they said it's going to be 24 to 48 hours." I said, "Maybe they'll come back on sometime later Tuesday." So they came back Tuesday, and we had a good time. Both days we had a good time. And then it was like they were talking about different agencies that were giving out food and stuff in Texas. And so they mentioned this furniture store called Gallery Furniture, and Mattress Mac was giving out things. So when her son came to pick them up from my house, they decided to go to Gallery Furniture. And then they told me that when they went to Gallery Furniture, they had closed down everything. And so they went back. To their house Tuesday night, and like they say, they warmed up with plenty of cover, and then they also, like they said, set in her son's car to get some heat. And I was kind of concerned about that because I had read on the news that certain people had got carbon monoxide poisoning, and I think one or two people died from that. And so I was kind of scared for them, warming up and charging up their cell phones and other stuff. Trying to keep warm in that car, and so it was like, they were going to try to do that, and they stayed over there up until Wednesday morning, and they were saying that the rolling blackout that they were doing, they were saying that the people who had lights on for the first 24 to 48 hours, they were going to cut their lights off, and the people who didn't have lights, they were going to cut their lights on. And so my sister and my niece finally called me and told me that their lights had came on. I think it was about 2:30, 3 o'clock Houston time. And so I say, good, I'm glad you got your lights on. Y'all get everything settled and back together. She said it's only half the house. And she says only the living room and the room that I sleep in. She said the other room didn't have any lights. It was just like half lights. So they were working with that. And then, like I said, the water was off. And so it was like when they got a little bit settled, I started getting unsettled. And then so I had already told them Tuesday morning when they got ready to come over here that my water was off. I mean, when they came Monday, the water pressure was low. But by the time they came back Tuesday, I didn't have any water at all. So they brought their own water bottles, and we had water over here too because luckily my husband had stocked up over the weekend, over this past weekend. And so the the 4 stacks of waters that he bought, by the time Wednesday came, that water was gone because we was using that for washing our hands and other stuff. And so it was like I called her about 5:30, I think it was about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and told her my lights had just went off. They had just cut them off at 4 o'clock. And so I told her that I might come over there later on that night or either early Thursday morning, depending on how long the lights were going to be off, because I knew I couldn't be in this house with all this cold weather and stuff like that. And we have covering blankets and stuff, but it was just too cold for that. And so I was going to come over her house. And so what I did, I decided to call my sister in California just to let her know that I might be over my other sister's house in Houston for maybe a day or two if my lights didn't come back on. Then she goes, oh no, you don't need to go over there. I'll help you out. I'll help you. I said, no, we don't need. I don't need you to send me any money or anything like that trying to help me out. I said, well, what I need is to go someplace that is warm and stuff. Why I'm gonna send you the money? I'll transfer it into your bank. I said, I don't think you should do that. I said, I don't need your help. I told you, me and my husband got everything on. She wanted to force me to take the money from her, so I just went on and just pacified her and just told her to go ahead on. And then by the time Thursday morning came, my lights had came back on later on Wednesday night. So by the time Thursday morning came, I had called my sister and told her that my lights were still on and they came back on. I wouldn't be coming over there. And so my other sister called me right after that from California and said, "Well, Angela, I couldn't transfer you no money, like I said, because they say it's an error in the banking system." I said, Anne-Marie, there's nothing down here. I mean, not Anne-Marie. I told my sister, there's nothing down here that's working down in Texas. I said, all the stores are closed, and I say the few stores that were open, they only had limited stock. I say, so everything was closed because of this winter storm. So I knew that wasn't going to work. And she said, well, okay. How's everything going? I said, well, things are going all right. And then instead of her being concerned not just about me, it seems like she was only concerned about me. She could have been concerned about her older sister and her other brother. There's more relatives that stayed out here that probably was affected by it. But I found out from one of my other relatives that my other brother, he was in the hospital. He was in the hospital, supposed to be getting some cataract surgery. I don't know how that went because everything was closed down and stuff. So at least I did, kind of hear from certain family members, maybe through the telephone or maybe when I went on my Facebook page and found out, things about what they were doing, what they were going on. So I was kind of checking on everybody a little bit anyway. But then, I was glad that they got their lights on and stuff like that. But then she called me back and I told her that, you know, my sister was not over here anymore. She had her own lights on at her house, and they were working how they were doing how they were working. Instead of her being concerned, like I said earlier, she gonna tell me, well, the only reason why that I was saying what I was saying the other day, and I told you I was sorry for it, because you know, last time when they came out here in the 80s, you know, they took advantage of me. They took advantage of me, so I didn't want them taking advantage. I said, there's nobody's going to take advantage of me. I said, this was a major crisis. Nobody was going to take advantage of me. I say, I wasn't going to let anybody take advantage of me. And then plus I have a husband that's going to back me up. I said, this was a major crisis situation. Nobody was thinking about taking advantage of anybody. We were just trying to make sure that everybody was safe and comfortable in a nice, safe and comfortable place. And even my stepson, my husband had to go and check on him and make sure that he was okay and stuff like that. So like I said, everybody got hit by this pandemic, and I'm not pandemic, by this storm and stuff like that. And she was saying, I said, well, I told her, I said, you know, nobody in the family never asked you for anything after our mama passed. I said, you still talking about stuff 20, 30, 40 years ago. I said, wasn't nobody trying to take advantage of nobody. And it was just like, I couldn't deal with all of this stuff. I got overwhelmed. It was because I was trying to help my older sister and stuff. And it's like when I did help her, and she got fined and got fined, and everything was okay with her situation. Then my situation started breaking down, where my lights started going off and on. My water was out for 5 days. I didn't get water back on until Friday, and then it was only the cold water, and then I only got hot water, which was Saturday, which was yesterday. So this has been a really tough, grueling week for me, and I didn't have time for no nonsense and foolery and all this kind of stuff. And I called yesterday, my older sister, just to see was everything okay, and even my niece said she felt a little bit better, but there was things left to be said and done. And so when she tried to call me again from California, I just completely ignored her, because with my gum problems and my dentures and my back problem, I didn't have time to be dealing with that, and a winter storm and a pandemic at the same time. It's like her understanding was less than zero, and so it was like I had to get myself together. And today was the only day that I felt like that things were coming back to normal. This is Abe Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. I am out.